Hello, my name is Meiju. Welcome to watch my tutorial on how to knit brioche knitting brioche stitch pattern in the round. Here I have my Hento pullover, which is knit in the round. You can find the pattern on my Ravelry page. The sweater was originally published on Linen magazine, issue with 15, but now you can find this pattern for individual purchase on my Ravelry page. This sweater is knit completely from the top down, except the collar is knit last, and so basically we should look at the pattern this way when I'm talking about brioche knitting. First it's knit flat here at the neck level, then join in the round, and then also the sleeves are knit in the round. So I'm gonna show you how to work brioche stitch in the round. Okay, let's start looking at the brioche stitch. I have started a little tiny sample here. So I'm knitting in the round with magic loop method, so you can see that I have a round piece here coming up. I have started with ribbing. I have knit a few rows just to make it easier to show you that it's already a circular piece, and it's easier to handle the rows with the brioche knitting tool. So always when you start brioche knitting, you will first do a setup row after. You will always, when you start brioche knitting, you will first work a setup row for in the beginning for one row, and then you start the pattern repeat. I highly recommend that you also see my tutorial on how to knit brioche stitch flat. You can find that tutorial on my YouTube channel too, and I will put the link below this video. So let's begin. So this is a setup row. So you will first knit the knit stitches, work yarn over and slip. So this is the paired brioche stitch, and you will always consider this as one stitch. So this is counted as one. We have 1, 2 stitches now here. Knit, yarn over, slip. Knit, yarn over, slip. Knit, yarn over, slip. Knit, yarn over, slip. And when the brioche pattern grows, it's much more easier to count the stitches, because you can more visibly see them. We will look at that later when I have knit the piece slightly larger. Knit, yarn over, slip, knit, yarn over, slip, knit, yarn over, slip, knit, yarn over, slip, knit, yarn over, slip. So this was the setup row, and now is the second row of the brioche pattern. So as I told in the flat, in the video knit flat, brioche stitch is created by 2 rows repetition. So you will always have to make 2 rows to make brioche pattern. So now as this is a round piece, we will make yarn over slip for the knit stitches. So I catch the yarn for yarn over, slip. And then we will make brioche purl. My style of purling might be different from yours. You might purl like this. Mine is slightly different, but basically you will purl the paired yarn over and the purl stitch together. Yarn over, slip for knit stitch, brioche purl. Yarn over, slip, and brioche purl. Yarn over slip, brioche purl. And this is also counted as one stitch. The yarn over paired with the stitch is counted as one. Yarn over slip, brioche purl. Yarn over slip, brioche purl. If you are wondering how my purl is done, it's called Norwegian purl. And this is something that we use here in Nordic countries. Usually I've seen people in Nordic countries purling like this. So we catch the yarn, then we put it on the needle, keeping the yarn always at the back so we don't have to move the yarn in front to purl. Yarn over slip, brioche purl, yarn over slip, brioche purl. But you don't have to know my style of purling to make brioche stitch. You can purl anywhen you like. It's just normal purl stitch. So now I'm at the end. Now we actually start the whole repetition of 2 rows for brioche knitting in the round. So now I have paired yarn over and the knit stitch, so I'm going to do brioche knit. And this is the first row of the brioche stitch repetition in the round. Brioche knit, yarn over slip. 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 Brioche knit, yarn over slip, 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 brioche knit, yarn over slip. That was the first normal round of brioche stitch repetition after setup rounds. So now we are doing the second round, which you already actually saw. So we are doing yarn over slip for the knit stitch and making brioche purl. Yarn over slip, brioche purl. Yarn over slip, brioche purl, yarn over slip, and I'm purling, trying to purl like you might purl, like that. Yarn over slip, brioche purl. And yarn over slip, brioche purl, 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 yarn over slip. And the battery from my microphone just ended, so I have to speak over for the rest of the video. I'm gonna work a few more rounds for you and then come back to show you the piece. So as you can already see, the piece is much more loftier from the brioche knitting part than from the ribbing part, and you can easily see how the pattern looks like. I'm gonna give you a little hint or a tip how to memorize the brioche pattern in the round, if you don't, so that you don't need to memorize when to brioche knit, when to brioche purl. So basically, whenever you have the double or the paired yarn over stitch, you always work the brioche there, depending if it's a knit stitch or a purl stitch. So here we have a brioche knit stitch. We will brioche knit. And whenever you have a lonely stitch, you will work the yarn over slip. So it doesn't really matter if it's knit or purl stitch, you will just work yarn over slip for the lonely stitch. Then brioche, knit or purl, depending if it's a purl or knit stitch. On this row I have knit stitches paired with the yarn over, so I will work brioche knit for them and yarn over slip for those purl stitches. And I will go to the end of this pattern, so it's always brioche knit and then yarn over slip to the next stitch. So you don't have to really remember in which row you left the work with the pattern repeat or which round you left the work. It's always the same manner that you work yarn over slip for the lonely stitch and then just look at the stitch and work it as it presents itself. So if you have a lonely stitch like in a knit stitch here and purl stitches pair, you work brioche purl. Thank you for watching this video, and if you want to watch more brioche knitting tutorial, I am going to make increase tutorial and decrease tutorial, and I'm going to put them on this channel too. I lost a stitch there, but I was able to get it on my needle. If you lost a stitch in brioche knitting, it's a bit difficult to handle, but if you use lifelines and put them on regular faces, you might don't have to rip back to the start the work. Okay, thank you for watching and hope to see you on my channel soon again. Bye!